Hello, Speed Gaming. Good evening. I am your host, Rumblemans, here with Andrew for this quarterfinal matchup between Kipp and ARealCutie. For me, one of the most hype races of this round. How are you doing tonight, Andrew?
You know what? I am very excited for this. This whole entire round is a lot of star-studded matches. All of the top 16 have been pretty star-studded matches, and I'm very excited to see Kipp and Cutie duke it out.
Yeah, we see. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to comment on the particular categories and choices they've both made. I think it makes pretty clear sense for Cutie to veto RBO, seeing as how he's not as experienced at all as Kipp is. But fortunately for Kipp, Kipp is still very experienced in low percent ice. So this should be an interesting race, and we'll see how it goes. How are you feeling about this?
I'm super excited. First of all, to see a low percent ice race. We don't see a ton of them. I think I agree with the bans. Yeah, I think I could have seen Cutie going either RBO or low percent ice. But RBO is, I think Cutie's more likely to get finish closer in low percent ice, if that makes sense. Like RBO could be you just hit a wall and you just lost. So vetoing RBO, I think makes sense. I think the any percent ban by Kipp. I think I posted shocked Pikachu face.jpg in the chat. I was like, of course, right? Like Cutie, one of I think 5 people that has a 41 any percent. Definitely a focus on any percent for Cutie. So getting that out of the pool makes a lot of sense.
Oh, I completely agree. And Cutie's main categories, as far as I know, he's done obviously a lot of work in 90%, being a top 4 runner, top 4, I think. Anyway. And he's put a lot of work in 100%, so it's possible that Cutie goes 100% for that, but that's to be seen. We still have this entire low percent race ahead of us. Got plenty of race action coming at you as they just started, and we'll see how their series goes.
Yeah, let's go. Get right on it. No waiting here.
It's interesting to me seeing Cutie do races compared to his RTA attempts. Not even going for the series elevator moonfall. Very interesting to me. Doesn't want those 5 or 6 frames. It's not really worth the risk at this point, not doing an RTA attempt.
I think he's probably a little bit on autopilot during series. He might be watching some tutorial videos on that worst room in the game strat that he was practicing before the race.
Yeah, we saw him practicing that worst room in the game strat, and it did not look encouraging. I do wonder. Well, we'll get there when we get there, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we have a few rooms to go before we even get down into Norfair. The beginning of this run is going to look a lot like any percent new route run, although they will be skipping 1 extra missile pack.
Absolutely, this is playing more or less into Cutie's wheelhouse. An easy prediction to make is that Cutie will be ahead at gravity, and then things will change and diverge, and Kipp's experience with low percent ice may put him back in the lead, but we shall see how it goes for sure.
Yeah, although one particular difference with low percent versus any percent that Cutie might not be used to is the amount of missiles you have at Fantoon, and the drops you get there are much more volatile with low percent since you have a 10 missile max instead of a 15. He could find himself short missiles more than he's used to.
Absolutely, that is not a small thing. Any stretch of the imagination. I know Cutie's done a number of charge skip runs, but I think he's come to the conclusion that that is not a fun thing to do. Fainting with 10 missiles is not fun. Looks like Kipp pulling up ahead a little bit early due to a missed ledge grab in the elevator room of series from Cutie, so getting a little bit of edge here. I hope Kipp enjoys it, because I'm imagining Cutie will pull ahead very quickly with Moonfall in Parlor and the climb.
Well, Kipp uses Moonfall these days as well. I don't know if he does in low percent though.
Oh, look at this. He's facing left. Oh, there we go. All right.
Oh, guess he does not use Moonfall in low percent.
He's got to feel more confident in his Ridley fights without it.
Hmm. And that is one of the big hurdles of low percent. Probably the three or four big hurdles, I guess, in this category are really Ridley, Mother Brain 2, and you could say doing Dragon quickly, and then of course the Fantoon fight that we talked about are the big hurdles.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this category, I mean, apart from the obvious just staying alive part, these two players, I have no real doubt that they'll die anywhere. Probably the most likely area they might die is leaving Norfair with the Three Musketeers. But other than that, there's a lot of drop RNG in this category, and that, like, especially farming before Ridley, farming after Lower Norfair, farming before Dragon, all three of those farm spots can significantly cost time for either one of these runners.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
now we do specify low percent ice here. There are several low percent categories that all get 14% of the items. You mentioned chargeless, which is a category that does some weird things with Dragon that I don't know about to underflow your ammo, and you get infinite supers, or basically infinite supers.
65,000 is pretty more or less unlimited.
It would take you a while to shoot 65,000 supers. Kojak all of them into a wall. The other main low percent category is low percent speed, which would substitute speed booster instead of ice.
Interestingly enough, that is a much faster category to get to Golden 4, but then you have to deal with Metroid drops and power bombs. But
yeah, and then you also have a 300 shot Mother Brain 2 fight instead of the only having to do 200 shots of Mother Brain 2.
I mean, 200, it's like it goes by like that. It's not a thing.
I feel like if I tried to do low percent speed, I'd get to 256, then it'd flip back to 0. I think I'd be back where I started.
Yeah. All right, we've got a couple seconds difference here with Cutie and Kipp at bombs. Let's see how friendly this little bomb Chorizo can be. He can be kind of annoying sometimes, depending on where he places his drops. Just like that, actually. Even though Cutie managed to get a 1 round, the fact that he had to do 5 extra P shots instead of only missiles from then on gives Kipp a little bit back time. It's time Kipp's back right here. And this is really not what Cutie wants. I think he really wants to make the most out of these first initial 14 or so minutes getting to Gravity Suit.
Yeah, runners will be picking up both Gravity and Varia, along with 2 missile packs, 2 super packs, 1 power bomb pack, 3 energy tanks, of course charge beam and ice, as is indicated by the category. Morph ball and bombs, of course. I think I got all 14 items there.
That'll be it. There's not too many of them.
You know, it's sort of interesting to me. Like this is the minimum that you can do without really weird things in the game, kind of in a normal category. And then we have any percent, which says get anything you want, whatever you want to get, and go as fast as you can. And we pick up 5 more items. It's like almost the same thing. There's 5 more items that make a difference.
It's been crazy since I started running this game. Ultimate 80% has changed significantly. Like, people used to gladly get Spazer in their 80% runs because they thought it'd be easier. You know, and Ultimate 80% runs were like 22, 23%, bringing it down every year.
Yeah, it's getting to that point where, you know, Zost and Behemoth now, and probably Cutie as well. I haven't seen a lot of his 80% runs, but are skipping those wave missiles just to save that 5 seconds or so, because technically you don't need 20 missiles. You only need 15 to be optimal.
Exactly. That's crazy to me. This is actually somewhat important because they're not going to get this charge missile pack. That missile drop that Kipp got will be much more helpful than the super drop that Cutie got. They'll both be sitting at full health, so that super drop will not be converted into health, and that missile drop Kipp got will make it a little bit easier for him to not rely on some of the additional flames for Fantoon.
Yeah, and both of our runners remembering not to pick up charge missiles, that while it would not end their run, it would certainly make getting over moat a lot harder because they would be unable to pick up the missiles on moat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure neither of these runners knows how to cross the moat without getting those missiles, so... Oh, look at this. This is a nice sync.
Man. This is reminiscent of the earlier match we had between Gallimaz and Sloters, where it looked literally frame for frame at the beginning of the match.
Looking beautiful. To slightly slower Red Tower strat for Kipp there, wanting to use a charge shot, number one, to slow down the shot to make it easier to follow it all the way up. You can see the faster strat by Cutie there, by shooting the shot before the Ripper had even gone to the left, called Ripper Skip.
Oh no. Cutie took a hit from the Caterpillar. That is really bad. That's a lot of damage that you're missing, that you're hitting for that.
Not ideal, for sure.
One other thing about that Hellway I want to call out is Kipp did a really nice double farm strat and got missiles from both of the farms. So he's actually full on missiles now coming out of this, which, as you mentioned, will play an important role as he goes into Fantoon.
Yes, this will be definitely very important. Yeah. Cutie with only 2 missiles, he'll have 7 missiles borrowing a drop from the Key Hunter here. If he gets a missile drop from the Key Hunter, that'll be really nice. Still having anything more than 80 energy is pretty comfortable for both of these guys, I would say, entering Fantoon, but it's still not ideal. More than 80 being that everything Fantoon does is 40 damage, so getting more than 2 hits worth of health is pretty comfortable.
Both of our runners a little bit short on the CWJ, so they're going to be doing horizontal bomb jumps here. Cutie, unfortunately, falling into the moat. That's going to cost him some time.
Kipp, on the other hand, gets it first try, and that's a nice... Oh, well, a good backup from Cutie. They're getting the in-room CWJ. Not too far behind.
Yeah, I'm sure both runners are just exhaling a little bit there after getting over moat. Even if they've done it hundreds or thousands of times during a race, it's one of those things that can continue to go wrong, and it's a nice relief to get over that moat and get into wreck ship where, you know, you just have to deal with Fantoon.
So heading down into the Fantoon fight, we see Cutie did not get a missile drop from the Key Hunter. He's going to be going in with 7, which isn't a huge deal depending on what kind of drops Fantoon gives him, but it could be problematic. Again, this category deals a lot more with RNG than almost any other category. A very nice fast with 6 missile Doppler from Kipp.
Oh, and gets full missiles off the drops too.
Yeah, see, this is really not ideal for Cutie here. A nice 2-round from Kipp, but you see Cutie here, he's doing his best, but he's not getting the drops he needs.
Ooh, and he's really low in energy too. Oh, and he gets the Doppler. Oh, it's good. It's good bad though, because unfortunately he's at 22 health, which means he's going to get health bombed here, and he's going to be really short on ammo for the rest of wreck ship.
That
Kipp on the other.
However, it is much less important to get good ammo drops from Fantoon here in low percent ice, because they'll be heading in to get a nice refill from Kraid in a little bit here, compared to any percent that is. Oh, the bigger issue is the power bombs. I didn't notice that, but Cutie had to actually shoot out and bomb all those blocks instead of using a power bomb to clean them out. That's a good 2.5 seconds. Maybe less. I think it's like 2.5. Because he obviously wants to save his 1 power bomb for Attic.
Yeah, Kipp very comfortable on ammo, using a super there for that atomic, getting a big health drop. That'll make it a little bit more comfortable going into bowling spikes.
And with that, Kipp is more or less full. He'll be fine going into bowling here, barring a pancake disaster.
The great pancake disaster of 1978.
Exactly.
Ran out of maple syrup and no bacon.
Kipp playing it very safe, not even going for the damage boosts here in bowling. Wonder if Cutie will play the same. I think he actually died in this tournament to these damage boosts in some other run. I don't remember what it was, who was right against, but...
Cutie don't care. Cutie hears what you're saying. Cutie don't care. Cutie's going for damage boosts.
I mean, that's totally a fluke. There's no way that's like ever like concern for him. All right, this is a. I mean, we haven't talked much about the timing here, but this is a fantastic time for gravity for both of these runners. Despite Cutie's initial difficulties with Fantoon, he cleaned it up nicely, and he's still got a great gravity time.
Yeah, 1330 and 1340 is top tier time, which is what you would expect from our final 8 runners here.
The problem for Cutie here is that now he's out of his wheelhouse, so to speak. These first 14 minutes, that's any percent more or less for Cutie. That's his expertise, and Kipp is much more experienced in this category now. And already being ahead, not the ideal situation Cutie wanted to be in.
Oh, and that's a bad damage from the crab too. Now, he as you said, they are heading to Kraid, which is generally not a very dangerous place to be, and they will get an E-tank before they go anywhere too troublesome. But bad things can happen when you start getting hit by crabs.
Of another importance is, oh yeah, see, there you go. Okay, that's exactly what I thought Cutie might do, is farm here for missiles, because he knows he needs them. I anticipate he might actually go for this B-Tom farm here. Oh no. I was thinking he might use a power bomb in Kraid's Hellway and want to farm another one for other purposes, but looks like he doesn't want that. Doesn't want those missiles though, those are important. Just like an 80%, we'll want to blow up that tube now because we'll be going through on the way back. The main reason that's faster is because the activation for that power bomb thing, the PLM that activates the tube blowing up, is on the left side of the room. So if you blow it up from the left side, it's a lot faster than waiting for the power bomb explosion to reach the left side, that is. Oh, looks like Kipp is deciding. Looks like he wants to solidify his drops here. Not playing it risky at all. He knows he's going to be getting Kraid's E-tank there, so he uses a power bomb to kill the pirates, even though it's a little bit slower, because he wants to be sure he'll have the missiles for Lower Norfair.
Yeah, and using that really nice normalized setup with the bomb to position himself for the quick kill. Cutie's just going to eyeball it. I'm sure he knows exactly where to stand.
Oh yeah. A great quick kill from Kipp and Cutie. Not unexpected that either of these runners would miss that.
Kipp did get very few missile drops from Kraid there. Just one drop for 2 missiles, I believe.
Yeah, that's just showing that powerbomb usage was all the more useful. I'm anticipating he'll be pseudo-screwing the first pirate here. Oh, another powerbomb. Wow, he's trading time for ammo here. Really wants to be sure he has the ammo he wants going to Lower Norfair. It's a good strategy, I think, because, like I said, in this category, a lot of it is dependent on RNG drops, and if you can sacrifice a little bit of time to make sure you can't get screwed over by drops, it's a good trade in Kipp's book, I'm sure.
Even taking the time to farm some of these little eyeball frogs to get some more missiles.
Oh yeah, just after getting that E-tank, you're full on health, and so you're more or less guaranteed missiles. or supers, I suppose.
Yeah, Cutie gets a super.
Nothing. Yeah, the supers are nice, but this lack of missiles for Cutie will seriously play havoc on him unless he gets something from somewhere, which is essentially just going to be these Sovas outside of ice. That's his chance here. Oh, and he's not even full on health either. This is not looking ideal for Cutie. He has to really hope he gets good drops from these guys.
Oh, unfortunately, morphing into the Nook a little bit too early. Gets another super drop in health.
Yeah. That is really not what he wanted to see. I mean, the super is nice, but not being on full health there because he had some troubles with the B-toms in the crate energy tank room is really not ideal. And now he has to be wondering where he's going to get these missiles from. If I have to guess, I would say just in Business Center from these Sovas. And the reason why he wants these missiles, of course, is because of the strategy he was practicing in Worst Room in the game. It does require missiles. There it is. Oh, he got a nothing drop.
Wow.
That's really low percent.
Welcome to low percent ice, Cutie.
Hate to see that.
I mean, he can choose to take a farm before he goes down, but it does cause some door transitions and obviously extra time for the farm.
Yeah, that's like 12 seconds minimum for one farm. That's probably not 12, probably like 7, but it's still ridiculous.
There is a Sova right after this room that he's in that he could get one from maybe.
Oh, still nothing there. But these Magdalites that Kipp just farmed, that's probably his last final resort. No, he's not taking any chances. He's getting these gamuts. He needs the missile. There's no way he can afford to not have it. And still nothing from the first round. Still nothing from the second round. Wow, and there we go. We got the 4 there. That's what he's looking for. That was actually like just a perfect storm of worst circumstances possible for Cutie there. Well, Kipp is already down to Lower Norfair, and Cutie will be coming in right after him in a second here. Knight gets a nice chronic boost setup while getting the farm from Powerbomb, exactly what he needed. Now, I'm not going to try to jinx him here, but it is possible that he does not get a second Powerbomb from one of these Violas down here, and that would be just exactly what his luck has been like this entire run.
Yeah, I believe it's a 2% drop to not get a power bomb from them or something like that.
That sounds familiar.
And Kipp going into Worst Room in the game, we'll get a look at the strat that Cutie was practicing previously. Use that power bomb, some ammo, and some charge shots to do just enough damage to that pirate on top so that this last charge shot freezes him, gives you a nice platform to jump off. A couple extra wall jumps there from Kipp, making it interesting, but gets up without any trouble. And gets the ball over the pirate at the top too, which is nice. Saves that 50 damage.
Now we see if Cutie's practice pays off. Looking good.
Oh, he missed the missile.
Good. I'm not sure what he's going to do about this.
And it's too low now, I think.
Oh yeah,
I think he just needs to kill them.
Oh, this is absolute disaster for Cutie. Like, this is really, really bad. He's doing his best to try to make this up, but you're not going to make this up, really.
Yeah, I think at this point, you kill the pirate and you bomb jump up. He can double bomb jump. He was doing it in the room in Upper Norfair, so he won't lose. Like, he'll go through pretty quickly, but it is certainly a lot slower, and more importantly, it takes a lot of his ammo that he will now have to farm back up before Ridley.
Exactly, and you see Kipp is already saved before Ridley. He's prepared for the worst. He has to know how commanding of a lead he has. He just has to not die.
Oh, went to the right.
Cutie.
Oh, and then got hit by the Namahe. Ooh, his health is not looking... okay, well, he got over the pirate, so that's good. But 87, stuff down here in Lower Norfair is going to do a lot of damage, so he needs to be careful.
I have confidence Cutie won't die here or have any trouble. The main difficulty is that losing all this health is a lot of farm time for him, making him just that much further behind, while Kipp is going to be heading into his pre-Ridley farm, and we'll see how the RNG treats him so far.
Yeah, that said, as far ahead as Kipp is, he did take that safety save. Cutie also taking the safety save. You know, if Kipp does have a rough Ridley and doesn't get through it, Cutie will be back in the lead. So it's still anyone's game. Kipp opening up the Ridley fight with an ice shield and then some power bombs, just some extra damage to get him to another nice ice shield. Trying to get Ridley down to his lower health before he starts using his supers and his missiles.
It was an excellent wasteland from Cutie there. Falling off, missing the platform, not having to unmorph and down back. And now, oh, that's really not good for Cutie here. Missing a super on this metal pirate means you have to take a lot of charge shots for that one. Kipp misses a wall jump there, but the fight is going fine enough. I mean, getting hit is not a big deal in this fight. It's just the main thing is when you get hit, that can oftentimes throw you off, and you have to make sure you get back in your rhythm before you get hit like again and again and again. It's pretty easy to get comboed by Ridley in this fight.
And I think Ridley is still his original color. Should be turning red any minute now, I think.
So we got Cutie in the pre-Ridley farm here, having a rough go of it. Looks like he messed up some of the synchronization of these guys.
That's the worst.
Yeah, it's really annoying. Getting great luck on these super drops though, like that was really not, for how much he had to farm, like that was really not a bad farm time.
Yeah, evening out a little bit from his earlier luck. Kipp taking another hit there from Ridley. Ridley is in his second phase with that red tone. Now he's going to do, I believe, 22 or 23 charge ice shots and then all of his ammo, and Ridley will be dead.
Yeah, the main thing you want to focus on here as Kipp is you really don't want to miss any supers. That's another 7 shots to equalize that damage. And Cutie's in this. Oh, nice. He managed to get out of that pattern. Excellent. But Kipp's going to be finishing this Ridley fight, and Cutie has barely started. That's a pretty significant lead here. It's looking like around 2 minutes or so.
Oh, and Ridley nicely just standing there while Kipp pounds him with supers. And that should be it. Just needs to get grabbed, and that's a dead pelican. Nicely done, Kipp.
Oh yeah, that was a great fight for Kipp here, and okay, he's going for the Ridley tank.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes the escape a lot easier from Lower Norfair. Getting really weird drops. Got almost no missiles and supers, and about 30 power bombs there.
Yes, so this, to me, and I think most low ice runners, is definitely the most dangerous part of the run. Escaping Lower Norfair, once you get consistent and happy with Mother Brain and Ridley, which you can do after a while, mistakes here can lead to having low health, entering the Three Musketeers, which is really, really dangerous.
Ooh,
Okay,
Cutie
really
taking
wants to
another
avoid
hit from Ridley there.
any extra damage. Yeah, and this health, it's still okay for Cutie, but this is really not what you want to see. He may be shaken a little bit by his earlier mistakes in Lower Norfair. Or he's just trying to play it super risky, which is probably more likely, given that he knows how far behind he is.
That was a really weird turnaround by Ridley.
Yeah, this is not what Kipp wants to see here.
Yeah.
Taking 2 hits in Key Hunter Staircase is not ideal, but he's still got plenty of health for Key Hunters. He can take a hit from all 3 and still be fine, but that's still not exactly what he wants to see.
Yeah, unfortunately, usually those hits from Key Hunters tend to lead to more hits, and if you get knocked down as you're jumping up, or while you're trying to do a wall jump or something, so hopefully he can get through here clean.
Looking good so far. Oh yeah, he's out. Kipp knows we just tank the hit from the second guy, don't need to worry about dodging him, and you can get through the third with ease.
Nicely done.
Pathos, Porthos, and Aramis, got nothing on him.
Does that make Samus D'Artagnan? Is that the 4th one?
You know, I actually had never really thought about who D'Artagnan could be, but I appreciate that. I think that'll work just fine. So Kipp wants to farm here. He's going to head to Meridian now, and he's going to need a lot of ammo to fight both Dragon and Bobwoon. So he wants to farm Sea Booster well. This is yet more lovely drop RNG, which, frankly, he's doing fine.
Yeah, and this is the result of those Ridley drops that I was mentioning that were so low. Obviously, if Ridley had dropped in a little bit nicer, dropped a little bit more ammo, we wouldn't have to farm as much.
Cutie getting a little bit dangerously low here. It looks like Ridley is close to dead, and it looks like Cutie has decided just to play as risky as heck by shooting all of his ammo first. Ridley has several enrage timers for his health percentages, and you can tell he's at his final enrage right here, which means he's pretty close to dead, but that also means he's moving as fast as he ever can. It's a little hard to dodge in all this, but he should be dead right here.
Ooh, takes a tail hit, but is dead and out of health bomb range, which is good. I expect Cutie will also be picking up the Ridley E-Tank here. And Cutie getting much better drops from Ridley, 643 coming out.
That will definitely help him. Heading into Meridia, this is a really difficult part of the run for low percent ice. There's a lot of tough movement and jumps you have to make, in addition to probably 2 of the hardest bosses to optimize in terms of speed. Botwoon with just ammo and no other items is really, really annoying, especially depending on what pattern he gives you. And Dragon is just as annoying, honestly.
Yeah, it's also fantastic. There's a mini boss that forces you to basically use all of your ammo right before another boss, so you get a nice RNG farm right in between there.
Kipp gets the first gravity jump, and I expect he'll be doing a wall jump here to get up to the second part of Mount Doom. And he does, and there he goes. Cutie looks like, let's see how his Key Hunter Staircase goes for Cutie here. Hopefully better than Kipp's did.
Ooh, they are not cooperating today.
Yeah.
Ooh, get out of there. Looks like he's leaving with about the same health that Kipp had coming out of there.
And more or less. Let's see this bot wound from Kipp here. Oh, the worst pattern. It is possible to one-round bot wound with this pattern, but it's...
Oh, and he has missed a couple supers here.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of time loss here for Kipp, but he's not too far off, I think. Probably like three or four charge shots. Oh, well. There it is, 5. Alright.
Pretty nice drops, though.
Oh wow, yeah, that's having 4-4 after bot wound is fantastic.
Don't get the E-Tank. That would be very bad.
That'd be
That
one
would
way
mean
to catch up there.
Yeah, he'd be fighting Ridley again. He'd be resetting.
So Cutie gets out of Lornifer successfully, no real troubles with Musketeers, and he'll be doing his Meridia farm right now.
I think if our runners could get 15%, there are items that they would prefer much more than that E-Tank behind Balloon.
Plasma being the #1 candidate.
Plasma would certainly be nice.
I am curious to see if Kipp is deciding. Like, I haven't practiced or done any low ice strats in so long. Okay, it looks like he is going to be killing these turrets. I think a lot of times in RTA attempts, runners don't even kill the right side turrets.
Yeah, I think in his PB attempts, he would be leaving. He'd be destroying one turret, or possibly two. But I think he'll take the safe route here, especially given the lead that he has.
Oh yeah, he's got a very solid lead, which is more or less what we expected from this low percent race. You'll see, it's a pretty nice, easy way to hit Dragon with all these ice shields. After every goop round, she'll always do a swoop, so it's pretty easy to guarantee usually 4 hits, but when she starts getting lower health, you can only get hit in 3 there. One of the most important things this fight is when she's yeah, you see Kipp wanting to shoot a couple missiles away so that he gets missile drops from the goop when he shoots them.
Yeah, he's doing a really great job of ammo management. He's not just throwing all of his supers in. He's using mostly missiles, some pseudo screws, those ice shields, and then throwing in a couple supers each round.
Yeah, I think the hard thing for a lot of newer runners to this category is like, okay, yeah, for each one of these goop rounds, you want to be in underneath Dragon as long as possible to try to get all the shots in you can. But the more important thing is to make sure you get the missile drops that she leaves. And if you wait until she's already at the end, a lot of the missile drops despawn. So Kipp showing good expertise in this Dragon fight. That was a pretty clean fight, all things considered.
And nice super drops. Holy cow!
Yeah, this is looking great for Kipp.
We see Cutie here doing the ice clip to bot wound. Since the runners don't have speed, that is the only reasonable way for them to get in. They also can't crystal flash clip. They can't have enough power bombs to do that. Cutie getting a much nicer bot wound pattern.
Yeah, that was very close. I think that'll be it. Pretty sure. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, it just needs a couple more trots.
And bot wound hitbox, Dan's game. There he goes.
It looks like we'll get a nice little high five in these morph tunnels here. That'll be cute.
Something for their scrapbook for sure.
Exactly. Now Cutie begins the long, arduous farm process. And again, it's the most fun part of the category for sure. Everybody loves farming.
There are certainly some people who believe that Super Metroid is simply a sequel to Harvest Moon, with all the farming that you have to do.
Yeah, I could be convinced of that. That makes sense to me, especially if you watch this category a lot.
This is probably the last big hurdle before Turian, is this gravity jump, which can cost people a lot of time.
might be my least favorite, like, just anything in the game.
Kipp making it look easy, however, first try, nicely done.
I like that that double bomb jump into an unmorph. If you just do a normal double bomb jump, Samus's hitbox in the morph ball will not be large enough to activate the transition to the door to get the next room. However, if you unmorph in the middle of that bomb jump, you can make her hitbox extend long enough to activate it. Of course, that means you have to have pretty good faith that you did bomb jumps correctly, because otherwise you'll just fall.
And then you look silly.
Exactly.
But 10-9 coming out of Meridia is sort of ridiculous ammo. Like, you would be happy with 10-9 in any percent. To have it in low percent ice is crazy.
Yeah, this is actually unheard of. I don't know if I've ever seen any runner have this ammo.
And he only has 10-9 because he had to use a super to open a gate.
And you notice in Cutie's fight here, we didn't really talk about it because Kipp didn't have many opportunities to do pseudo screws on Dragon. But pseudo screwing Dragon, any part of her hitbox will do 200 damage, which is more than double a normal charge shot of ice. So it's usually preferable if you have the health to trade to pseudo screw Dragon as opposed to charge shot her.
Now, unlike any percent where you can get by with not having full ammo as you come through the last Metroid room, in low percent you have to be pretty close. I believe the minimum you can get by with is 10-9. If you have less than 9 supers, you actually won't have enough ammo to do Mother Brain. So I expect Kipp with going in with 8 to use a lot of supers early, and if he's coming close, if it's going short, he'll be switching to missiles for the last few kills. Yeah, I remember that too, Sloters. I remember Kipp saying, "Hey, y'all, I haven't practiced low percent ice in forever. I don't know why everyone's banning it against me."
I can't imagine why Kipp would want people to think his low percent ice wasn't doing it. Alright, heading into this first room here, I expect Kipp to group these 3 Metroids here.
His health,
ammo he has, but
yeah, his health is in really good shape, so grouping them makes sense. Full ammo. What else would you expect? Hey, he didn't get a super drop that time.
Oh, he did. He just didn't pick it up, you know. Oh, just playing it super safe. He still doesn't get the super he wants from that last Metroid.
I actually expect he might kill these first 2. No, okay, he's going to do them all, but he'll kill them with missiles. All right, he does get a drop. He would have been okay with 10-9. He would have just had to open that pink door and refill his missiles before going into Mother Brain.
It would have been a significant time loss, but still would not have put him anywhere close to Cutie catching up. Although I have seen quite a few runners expect to get at least 1 super drop, or minimum 1 super drop from all 3 Metroids in room 4, and then be very sad when that does not happen. Cutie is... well, okay, well, that was an interesting double take there. Maybe Cutie thought he had to go down sand pits or something, I'm not sure, but here we are.
To me, this is always the most tense part of the run, because I know it's very safe and done this many, many times before, but you're just sitting at 1 health, and I just hate for something bad to happen, you know?
Yeah, generally you actually see people shoot 2 missiles. Well, not generally, but you often see people shoot 2 missiles on the 2nd and 3rd shot just because you can. You're going to refill anyway, and it's nice security. Kipp Not concerned at all, though. Baby skip in this category, while possible, it has to be executed perfectly and saves barely 2 seconds, while if you fail it, will lose you upwards of 15 or 20 if you fail it at the very end. Which is the hardest part, which is where you're most likely to fail it anyway. So, not exactly a feasible strategy in this category.
Unless you're doing low percent damage lists, then you have to do it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
That is the one extra super that Kipp has. He will need the rest of his ammo to get through Mother Brain 1. I guess there's one missile that he could lose.
As Kipp, you actually, I don't know what the exact timing difference is, but I do know that Mother Brain actually takes about 40 frames longer to activate if you hit her with the bare minimum required to kill her, which is 18 missiles. You have to hit her with at least 18 projectiles to break all the glass. And that does incur around 40 frame time loss.
All right, Kipp's going to be counting to 200 now, or 200 minus 12 since he did three ice shields against Mother Brain.
Looks like Cutie's about 5 minutes behind Kipp at statues, I believe. If I remember the statue time correctly, maybe it's like 4.5 minutes. Again, Cutie's only real hope here is that Kipp dies somewhere late in the Mother Brain fight. But given that a Mother Brain low percent ice fight only takes about 4 minutes, even that won't exactly put him in the lead.
Nice mid-air morph from Kipp to avoid that bomb explosion.
Oh yeah, I fully expect him to play it very safe with those mid-air morphs and unmorphs. They do lose you a little bit of time, but they're also very safe. That could have been dangerous for Cutie had he not gotten the Metroids off of him, but he does successfully.
And drops finally being nice to Cutie.
Oh yeah,
good in
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Definitely when he needs it too. And now Cutie has had this entire race to think about what category he wants to race Kipp in next. He has to have known that after his worst room mechanic, he had to have known there's only real chance was Kipp dying. So I wonder what's in his mind right now, what he's thinking about.
I think there's certainly some good options for him. Any percent all bosses is a very any percent like category. 100% is might be one that he's been running a little bit more than Kipp in. He could throw triple bingo out there. We did not get a triple bingo veto, which is the first time in a while that we haven't seen triple bingo veto.
That would be interesting. I think Cutie does have the second or third best triple bingo time in the tournament so far, and he hasn't shown no reluctance to race it in any other races, so it is possible. Somehow I think it'll be a traditional category from Cutie, though. That's my bet.
And Kipp is into the catch-up bean phase. Most runners will consider this phase to be a little bit more straightforward. There's less going on. There's less chance of the onion rings and the French fries, and it's really just staring at that arm of Mother Brain, making sure you jump to avoid those catch-ups.
Yeah, it's definitely a much, I would say, easier part of the fight. The scary part is always when she lays a bomb.
Kipp thought about going for that ice shield, but decided against it. There he goes. Now he's going to do it. There is a window there that you have where it is perfectly safe to do that if you are Kipp. I don't do that.
Looks like that's the finishing cutscene from Mother Brain there.
There we go. And that should be it. Barring cosmic rays hitting Kipp's nest and killing him here, he should be out ahead of Cutie.
Cutie having a little difficulty with Mother Brain 1 here, but finishes up just fine, and hopefully he'll be able to finish this race. And frankly, given the, not despite anything, I just want to say, he performed very well after the worst room in the game, which is really what impacted all of the rest of his Lone Warfare. Apart from that one room, his execution and his strats have really been just fine.
Yeah, I have no doubts that if Cutie, focused on low percent, he would certainly be able to compete for a top time with him. He hasn't put in nearly the amount of time that Kipp has put in. I think Kipp has put more time into low percent than any of the other categories, so it makes sense that Kipp picks it. And honestly, I think if this was a low percent ice tournament, Kipp would have been the favorite here going into the run. So, results not totally surprising. It's certainly an excellent race.
Cutie was talking in the race chat earlier that he, being the higher seed, knew full well what he was getting into. I think he was the higher seed, or I don't know. Regardless, he knew full well what he was getting into, giving Kipp the vote, or having Kipp give the vote with low percent ice. I think he's talking that he specifically wanted this race time. He's going to use it to think about what he wants to race next. That is the question here. It's on everyone's minds. What does Cutie feel most confident in?
And Kipp did not die to Mother Brain 3. That can happen. It has happened in races before, but
really? Huh.
Yeah. I don't know if it's happened in this tournament, but I've certainly seen it in races at some point. Kipp is going to get to take the long way around these rooms here since we don't have Speed Booster in this run.
This is looking like a 52, which is not bad considering it's a race. It's pretty impressive, honestly.
Yeah, he had 2 safety saves and a really rough Baoon where he lost time, and everything else was fairly clean.
Oh, God. Cutie has gotten 2 of those late onion ring combos, which are easily the most deadly attack Mother Brain can do in any category, and has successfully dodged them each time. But it's something that if you're practiced at, and I'm sure Cutie is very practiced in Mother Brain too, it's not hard to dodge, but it's definitely the most dangerous for sure.
Yeah, I think honestly most low percent Mother Brain deaths come from zoning out during a 4 to 5 minute charge shot battle, more so than anything that's in and of itself super difficult. It's just a very long fight.
See, wow, that's the 3rd late onion ring combo she's done this fight. That's really rare. Just like that, Kipp is finished with an SRL time of 52:10. That is a very solid race time for low percent. Very well executed. Very well deserved. GG to Kipp.
Nicely done, Kipp. GG.
Cutie, in the meantime, is in catch-up phase. This is the home stretch for him. He should be completely fine from here on out. So far, looking like a much friendlier Mother Brain 3 than
That is a SRL world record for Kipp in low percent ice, beating the previous one set by Zost of 52.33.
That's pretty solid, I gotta say. How many? There's a command. How many races have there been of low percent ice? I don't know what the command is though. And there we go. Cutie manages to finish up Mother Brain 2. It's pretty solid.
Cutie saying in SRL chat that his PB is a 106, so this is likely going to be a new personal best for Cutie, unless his Mother Brain 3 takes longer than his Mother Brain 2.
Seems unlikely.
I think it would be, maybe that would be an interesting category, an endurance category of how long can you survive against Mother Brain 3 without killing her.
You know, that's actually pretty difficult. As anyone that's played arcade knows, in arcade, Mother Brain is actually in Mother Brain 3 phase from the get-go. That's how you have to kill her. It's pretty tough. One of the most fun things you can do is underflow your supers and then fight Mother Brain without using Hyper Beam, just ammo. Because the ammo doesn't give her knockback, so she just keeps on advancing on you. Recommend that for anyone having a good time, wanting to have a good time.
You have a weird sense of a good time, Fusta.
Well, don't we all? Looking like a pretty solid Mother Brain 3 here from Cutie. Oh, just as I say that, of course.
Racers will likely not come in for an interview in between the matches, but hopefully afterwards we'll get both of them in after game 2 or game 3. It goes to 3 games. And I think the money would be on Cutie picking a category he's just as strong as Kipp is at low percent. So certainly no guarantee, but I have a feeling we're going to see a game 3 here tonight.
That seems likely.
Kipp confirming he did in fact only get 14 items. That would have been a bummer of a way to lose a match, accidentally pick up an extra missile pack or something and nobody noticed.
That would be the Cosmic Ray. That'd be more interesting than like Mother Brain killing him somehow. Mother Brain 3, just changing the item percentage at the end. Let's see how Cutie's left side wall climb is. Seems pretty decent so far. Oh. It is always funny to do this room on the left side unless you're actually practice this room. It's really, really weird to get into that mindset.
Yeah, there's interestingly very few walls where we wall jump up the left side.
Oh yeah.
At least for very long periods of time.
That's a pretty solid race time still for Cutie. Definitely not bad at all. In the SRL chat, he has a 57.09, and that is a personal best by 9 minutes. Not bad at all. GG.
GG. Nicely done. I presume we will be taking a short break here as we set up for the next match. Our runners may want a couple minutes, but as we finish up here, I expect figure out what the next category is, and we'll be right back with game 2.